Hello everyone, welcome to my reading for, I believe it's Tuesday, it's August 26th, 2025. Remember that if none of this resonates with you, then please move on. So let's get started. Okay. So I may not be feeling it today. I'm a little off, so I don't know, I tried doing a couple readings before and I just wasn't really feeling the sense of what everyone was feeling. So apologies if this does not resonate with you, because the past couple of readings I've done today have not really resonated with me either. So hopefully we will find something that resonates with us and to hear what the universe has to say. So I'm getting a sense of what everyone's feeling right now. Trying to kind of express that through the cards. We have the Nine of Wands. So there seems to be a common theme throughout some of the readings I've been doing today, which are a sense of feeling trapped and sort of feeling stuck. Like you can't seem to move on from whatever situation you're in right now. Okay, so we've got two. We've got the Death card. Something has to happen for us to kind of finally move on from this stuckness, I guess. And we have this Seeker card, which is unique to this deck, the Pagan Otherworlds deck. So we really need to kind of begin to really think about how we do things in terms of, I suppose, the best way of moving on from something and sort of evolving as a whole. So the Seeker and Death together are kind of like moving forward from a trauma, with this card coming in as well. And I think that this is all about finding yourself, to bring in some kind of new sense of evolution to whoever it is that you are, or what it is that you want to bring in, kind of that positive energy. And a little bit of it may be in the unknown, because in the Seeker card there's a little moon. So I think that it's kind of hard to, be able to take this leap of faith to really transform yourself. And I really believe that transformation is necessary, but not in all situations. We have strength here. A lot of people read the strength card as really just kind of needing that inner kind of strength to get through something, but I see this as a way of positivity, of having that willpower and the ability to move on, and having that kind of internal faith in yourself that you can move forward from whatever it is that you're suffering from, and just kind of seeing it through. And I do read the strength cards sometimes as like needing that, but not in this sense. We have the Ace of Swords here. So this is kind of like heralding a new sense of way of thinking about some things. It may be kind of like, after all of this sort of trauma that you've been through, then it could be something about rethinking about how you think about things or how you do things. It could be kind of a new beginning of how you approach your life. And I think that kind of coincides with the Death card, because it's all about transformation. It's all about new beginnings and leaving behind things that no longer serve you. So we've got the Queen of Swords. And I think this is a positive aspect of this reading, because I think that in the sense she's kind of very diplomatic. This new way of thinking about being diplomatic, and it could be about being more objective in how you think about things, because personally I have had issues in the past where I have not been I have not been especially objective personally, and I think that she stands up for what's right. And I think I'm getting a sense of like justice, not necessarily that card, but it may show up. So a sense of sort of internal justification of yourself, and really just kind of leaving this sense of like not inequality, but a sense of sort of inadequacy of yourself. And I think moving on from that is especially important. So we have the Nine of Cups. And I think it's kind of like a sense of inner peace, that you're able to kind of move forward with whatever it is that you're struggling with. It could be, again, like I said, feelings of inadequacy, of feeling not good enough, of just kind of everything that seems to be holding you back, the world on your shoulders kind of feeling. So I think eventually you'll find a sense of peace. Okay. Ten of Swords. Again, I have said this before in previous readings, that the cards are neither good nor bad. They are neutral, and they are not necessarily, they're not necessarily something that you should be worried about. For example, the Death card. It's not negative or positive, it just is. So with the Ten of Swords, I like to look at this one as kind of an ending. Like, thinking of where you've been and moving on, it's kind of the end of a cycle. The sort of self-sabotaging cycle that you've really kind of been doing to yourself, the sort of internal struggle that is just not, it's not who you are. It's not true to you. And I think that just this sort of end, it's not an end all be all. And it's not necessarily about, oh, like there's so much responsibility that I have. I can't, like, it's the end of something. You're finally done with whatever you're doing to yourself. Queen of Pentacles is here. And I think she is interesting because she has, all the cards have multiple meanings, but in this reading, she has the meaning of having mastered her sense of control over what it is that she values. So, it could be tangible, it can be intangible, it could be related to money, it could be related to health. So I think it's some kind of like ability to see through all of this and kind of to get through the tough times. Because after all, what's really important is value and finding value and meaning in your life. So we have Judgment. And I think, I've gotten this card a couple times. I feel like this is kind of like we're feeling judged in the sense by whoever, ourselves, other people, but at the same time, it's kind of like bringing in a new era, kind of like not, well, it could be something like the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, but it's not the apocalypse. It's, in this sense, it's more about fostering this sort of creativity of this new era, this sort of enlightenment period in our lives. So I think kind of bringing in new ideas and new ways of doing things and thinking about things and really challenging what it is that we believe about ourselves and whether or not we can change it or fix it. And we've got the Six of Swords, one of my favorite cards. We're leaving things behind that no longer serve us. And I think that that's okay to turn our back on those things. Because, again, with the collective trauma and the faceplant, it's got to happen also with death. Like, this is something that has to be kind of nurtured, the sort of new beginning of whatever, this evolution of thought, this evolution of self has to be gently fostered, because if it's not gently fostered, then I feel like there's going to be a lot of pushback. So, with judgment, it's just like gently reminding us that it is possible to find peace within ourselves and with others, and to be able to forgive others and ourselves. I mean, that's the most important thing, is to be able to forgive ourselves in all of our imperfections and faults. So I will pull one more card, maybe, to get another idea of what this is all about, and then I will do a top and bottom reading of the deck. I'll pull another card after this one. We have the Devil. Remember, none of the cards are positive or negative. They just are. So the Devil isn't necessarily all about, this person trying to trick us, but it's kind of a reminder of ourselves and second guessing ourselves in what we really believe and what we want. So I think, like, in this instance, it's more about how to kind of reconcile that, and to move forward, and to leave it behind, and to really gain a sense of security, like a sort of an internal sense of security, and leave behind insecurity and uncertainty. So I'll pull one more card and then do the top and bottom reading. One more, and then I'm done, I swear. Here we go. Okay. So 5 of Cups and the Emperor. So there are things to look forward to. The 5 of Cups doesn't always necessarily mean defeat. I think that, we have options. We have multiple choices of how we want to do things. And I think no matter what we choose, we're going to be able to bring in this sort of ability to think things through logically, and to make it happen, and to really just move forward with our lives and, with ourselves. So let's do a top and bottom reading. So we have the World on the top, and the 5 of Wands on the bottom. Again, this is about reminding ourselves to stick to our gut. We have the gumption, we have the ability to move forward and to really make things happen for ourselves. And, it might seem like it's kind of impossible, like you don't have enough money, or you don't have enough influence to do something, and that doesn't really matter in the end, because if you dream it, you can do it. And the 5 of Wands is, it may seem like it's a struggle. It will be. Just like, the Devil is all about us second guessing ourselves and really kind of playing like either side of an argument with ourselves. It could, just really set us off and make us feel insecure and inadequate. And I really think that this is really just all about determination and having the ability to kind of move forward with whatever it is that's placed in front of us, because in the end we can't control everything, but we can control how we react to certain things. So I think overall this was a positive reading, and I think that's all I have for you today. So let's end on this, my favorite bowl. I do not mean for it to be so loud, but have a good evening, everyone. Bye.